This working from home during COVID, being a teacher and at the same time, because all the schools were closed down, you really learn how much you can take on. And I realized I can do this on my own. One of the things that I've taught myself is the only person that you need to compete with is yourself.
Hi there, Dawn McGee here from beautiful Nova Scotia, and this week on The Real Deal with Dawn, we have a special guest. We have eXp's newest icon agent here in Nova Scotia, Alisha Caillie-Fleet. So welcome and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's an honor. Now, it takes a lot to become an icon agent here at eXp, so it's a big feat. Now, at other brokerages, they usually do number of sales within a calendar year. Can you explain a bit how that works here at eXp?
The difference really between eXp and other brokerages is at other brokerages, they do year to year. So they'll do like January to January. At eXp, it's more about when you join. So if you were to join in November, like myself, when I joined, I then go November to November. So instead of competing against everybody in the brokerage January to January to receive an award, you're actually only competing against yourself and your previous year. So when I actually received the phone call from Icon, I was really surprised to hear the stat they gave me. They said, we have 90,000 agents in our industry at eXp, and only 4% of those agents receive Icon. So when you're with other companies, other brokerages, they have a cap rate. So you have to pay in so much to that company before you can then start to receive 100% of your income. And then once I cap, I have the ability to earn that $16,000 back in cap. You have to do 20 transactions after your cap in order to earn that. For example, I would have to do 4 classes. So 4 masterminds, collaborations with other top industry members across Canada on a Zoom meet, for example. And I would just collaborate with them for an hour. By doing that 4 times, it allows me to earn $4,000 back out of my $16,000 in shares.
Wow.
So you do have to earn them back, but you're gaining things out of it in return. You're gaining more knowledge. You're gaining more growth. You're collaborating with other top industry members, like-minded people, so that you can continue to grow and continue to be successful. I mean, to my knowledge, there's no other company out there that pays you to work for them.
Wow. Yeah. That's the thing that blew me away. I mean, there's so many opportunities to earn more than just, real estate and be rewarded for learning and sharing your knowledge. So, okay. Well, so tell me a bit about your real estate journey. How did you become a realtor? What led you to becoming a realtor? And how did you come to eXp?
So before I started in real estate, I worked in childcare. So I worked at a childcare lab school associated with NSCECE. I was there for 8 years. And the reason why I got into real estate is because when I had my second son, I realized, oh my goodness, I'm now paying childcare for both. And I can't work with either one of them due to a conflict of interest. At the end of the day, once my childcare fees were paid, I wasn't making anything in return. I was actually paying to work there because I had to pay for my travel expenses. So I talked with a friend of mine, and him and her actually encouraged me to join. So I did. I've been in almost 10 years now. So this April, almost 10 years. I started with Exit Metro. I was there for about 1.5 years. I switched to Keller Williams there shortly after. In my first 1.5 years as a single agent, I only did 1.5 deals. That half deal I shared with my mentor, and it just wasn't enough to feed my kids, essentially. So I made the switch and I joined a team. And in my first year on the team, I did 30 deals. So that was definitely a success for me. Being on a team really provides, that support that I was looking for, the leads that I needed. I was able to gain knowledge and learn from others, different things that I could implement into my business that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to gain any other time. I then moved to Ontario. I was there for 2 years. So in 2019, I was there for 2 short years. And I obtained my license there while still keeping my business here. And when I came back, I just said, you know what? I need a change. This working from home during COVID, being a teacher and at the same time, because all the schools were closed down, you really learn how much you can take on. And I realized I can do this on my own. I don't need this team anymore. I now have all of the knowledge that I need to be successful on my own. So I joined EXP. Best decision I ever made in my life. I've been with EXP since 2021, and I am forever grateful that I've done it.
Wow, that's awesome. So licensed 10 years. Considering I think there's a stat like 70% of realtors only last 3 years. I even heard the other day that it was like only 90% don't last 2 years. Sorry, yeah, I got mixed up. So yeah, those are incredible numbers, especially considering the number of new realtors we've had come into the market over the last couple of years. What are 3 things you would tell somebody who is considering getting into real estate?
Definitely align yourself with like-minded people. If you can join a team or join somebody who's going to mentor you, join with coaching, it'll be the best decision you ever made. As a realtor, you have the opportunity to interview different brokerages to see which one's going to best suit you. It's not like any other interview. They're not interviewing you, you're interviewing them. So take it as an opportunity to learn, what's going to be best suited for you. It is definitely a good idea to join a team so that you can have that support, have the foundations in place that are going to help you get off on the right foot. The other piece of advice I would give is not to compare yourself to other agents in the industry. That's a big thing that I've been working on for many years, and still sometimes I struggle with it. But you don't need to compare yourself to other agents, like, how better they are than you, or their marketing is better than mine, or anything like that. You just need to be you, do you. It will all fall into place one day. One of the things that I've taught myself is the only person that you need to compete with is yourself. You should just try and be better than the person that you were yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. So now for agents who are maybe licensed in the last couple of years, and it was such a flurry of activity and everybody was so busy with the new clients and stuff, a lot of these new agents who got into the market in the last couple of years may or may not have gotten off on the right foot because it was so busy. What do you recommend to those newer agents, or maybe some agents who just never had a good support system when they started in the beginning? What are 3 building blocks or foundational items that you yourself has embraced to be so successful?
The saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Everything does take time, so you do need to have patience. This industry can be a world of ups and downs, and you never know what's going to happen next. So patience is definitely key. Also, being able to be consistent is very important. You also need to be able to have a little bit of a thick skin in this industry. Being dedicated to the outcome is very important. Self-discipline, determination, know when to leverage the systems that are in place to guide you. One of the things I would recommend for new agents coming in the industry is to have a very supportive CRM. So at EXP, we use KV Core. It's a phenomenal database where you can keep all of your clientele in, helps you, maintain them, send them out messages when their birthdays come up or when they have house anniversary come up, allows you to keep all of that information in one safe, secure place so that you can access it at any time and to keep track of what it is that you're doing.
And it's free here at EXP.
Free! Yes, it's absolutely free. It comes included just as being part of a member. There are so many systems and so many foundations in place that EXP provides their agents that I never had at any other brokerage. And it's just to better me. And that's the biggest fundamental change that I've noticed at EXP. And I explained this to another agent the other day, whereas in other industries or other brokerages, they kind of work on a pyramid, right? So if you think about a pyramid and you have the different sections of the pyramid, you have the agents that are down at the bottom, you have the admin staff, you have the people who run the company, you have the building that needs to be paid for, the power, the heat, all of that stuff. And who is feeding these people? Who is paying for the lights to stay on? All of the agents who are working their butts off to feed their families, that's who. The people who are at the bottom, that's who's feeding the top. And unfortunately, with some other models out there, agents will always remain at the bottom and there's no opportunity to move up the ladder. Where at EXP, I feel like we don't work like that. We work of more of a sphere where headquarters and agents and all of these systems are working together to better each other, and everyone is equal. There's no one better than the next. Everybody is equal. Everybody is treated the same way. Everybody still has the same opportunities and abilities to grow. It just comes back to the agent to how much do you want?
Yeah, it's endless. Like, I mean, yeah, there's no ceiling.
There isn't. And like I said, I tripled my business this year. I never thought that was possible. And now that I've reached Icon, it's okay, what's next? What can I do next? What can be the next thing that I do to make things even bigger and better? And I'm excited about that. I'm excited to know, or even not to know, what's gonna be the future. What does the future hold for me? What does that look like for my family? Whereas at other brokerages, I was just every day in the same rhythm. Yeah, every day was the same, right? I never had the excitement that I have now.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Like, I'm excited about being able to support and share my knowledge. And I mean, and I'll end up benefiting from that in the end because I'll be bringing people to EXP. And I mean, but I'm doing what I love. I love teaching and sharing my knowledge, and I can earn a living at that. It's amazing.
Yeah. And I've experienced the same thing where, I'm doing some mentoring, I'm helping other agents. I feel great about that. Like the feeling that you get when you know that you're coming from a place of contribution and positive impact on this other agent's life. Yeah. There's no feeling better than that. Right? There's no feeling better than, seeing your client's face as you open up a door to the house that's everything that they looked for. And you know it yourself because you're so in tune with what they need. You get the same feelings and the same emotion.
Yeah. Very rewarding. Very rewarding.
So, yes. Yeah.
Now, you've been at different brokerages. You've been in different scenarios as far as working with groups and not. How would you compare your experience at EXP to those other models?
Well, aside from, the CAP and the Icon, the training and the education is a really big piece. So I love that I have endless ability to grow. There's a ton of support systems, the resources that they have in place for me to achieve my very best, and all of the multiple training tools as well. So they're at my fingertips. I don't need to wait to get into a training class, or I don't need to wait to have my phone call returned. I can get a hold of somebody right away if I need support or if I have questions, through my workplace or through our customer care department in our EXP world. And I can do that and reach anybody Canada-wide.
Yeah. 24/7, isn't it?
24/7, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I know it. There are probably other agents out there like me who work endless hours, well into the next morning. And it's great to know that I have support anytime I need it.
Now, speaking of support, like I know a lot of agents feel they need that, that one-on-one with colleagues and that interaction. Like being a corporation versus a franchise, do you feel any sort of lacking of support there?
Not at all. I think it's actually the opposite. I think I get better support this way than I did any other time.
Why so?
Just as like I just mentioned, I don't have to wait for someone to pick up the phone and return my call. It's not just the broker that's available to help me if I have a question. We have brokers all over Canada. We have associate brokers. We have the customer care department. All of these people are trained in our industry. So it's nice that I have multiple people available to help versus just one.
Yeah. Since you've been with EXP for almost 3 years now, what's the number one thing that surprised you about EXP that you didn't expect when you first joined?
I didn't think it was going to be this fantastic, honestly. Being at two other brokerages, I thought, okay, they're going to do things a little bit differently, but it's all going to work out to be the end, the same in the end. Yeah. And it hasn't been. The support that I've had, the opportunities that I've had, the growth that I've made. I mean, since I've switched in 2021, my business has tripled, and I didn't even know that was possible.
Wow. Awesome. That's amazing. Okay. So last question for you. And I know you have a lot of experience with military moves and that sort of thing, but in the words of Tom Ferry, what would you say your secret sauce is to your success?
Honestly, I would say putting myself on the client's level. Being able to understand what they're going through and the emotions that they're feeling, and that you can relate to them is a really personal touch. Because my husband's in the service, we're a military family. We've gone through the relocation ourselves. I know what those stressors feel like. I know the anxiety of living in limbo and not knowing one day from the next. So being able to help families move across country, from out of province, relocations, I'm able to relate to what their needs are because we've gone through it ourselves. As much as my clients are my clients, I sometimes treat them like my kids, in the sense that I'm Mama Bear. My job is to be there to protect them, to look out for them, to look out for their best interest. And I guide them through that. That's what I'm there for. They're there to rely on me and depend on me. It means so much to me to hear my clients' feedback when they say, Alisha, you were there to be available to take my calls or at any time or answer any of my questions. And I appreciate your honesty. And, I tell everybody, honesty is key. Communication is key. I'm as honest as the day is long. You're always going to be able to count on me to tell you the truth, right? I tell my clients what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. So honesty is the best policy. I also would like to take a moment to say thank you to all of my clients, all of my colleagues and partners who have made this possible. I mean, without you guys, it wouldn't happen. So it's because of you that I'm able to wake up every single day and to do what I do, to provide my kids the things that I never had growing up. It's very important for me that my clients are satisfied and that they're happy in the home that they're in.
Well, thank you so much. This has been a wonderful pleasure. And I know getting to that icon status is a wonderful achievement here. And hopefully here's to the next icon status next year. So thank
Yes.
you again. And I'll put Alisha's contact information in the link below. And if you are a military family who are looking at a move, reach out to her. And yeah, thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.